So as I mentioned earlier, this course on layering is quite comprehensive, and because of this, I want to give you a quick overview of what I'm going to teach. So as you can see, if I scroll down this list, there are 5 main modules, and there's also 2 videos at the end, which I'll talk about in a moment. So we're going to start off by looking at how to think about layering, and there are 2 sort of ways. You can think of layering as an enhancement or a creation. So that would be an interesting video to start off, just to look at the philosophy behind layering and the 2 main techniques, or the 2 main approaches to it. Following that, we're going to look at, in my opinion, what the most important layering tool is, and that is EQ. For 2 reasons, frequency masking, and also to get a sense of chemistry and coherence when designing sounds and layering sounds together. Once we've learned about EQ and how important it is, we're going to move on to layering drums, which is quite an interesting topic, and I know a lot of people struggle with it, so it will be interesting to teach that. And to start off with, in that module, we're going to be looking at layering in the time domain. Now, without going too in depth, the time domain is basically, instead of looking at EQ as a way to resolve conflicts, it's more about placement and attack, decay, sustain, release to make sounds fit and sound cohesive. Following that, we're going to look at kicks and claps, the 2 main sort of sounds in drums that are layered. Hi-hats and rides and so on typically aren't layered, so we're not going to look at that, but we're going to look at layering kicks, which is quite a big topic, and a few approaches or a few techniques for layering kicks. We're going to look at layering claps, claps and snares, claps and white noise, and so on. And at the end of each of these 3 modules here, 3, 4, and 5, I'm going to have a quick presentation at the end containing a few tips, about 5 or so, that you can go away with and apply to your own productions. Now, module 4 is when we really start digging in to the deep end of layering with plucks, leads, and synths. Now, this is one of the areas where layering is most used, and it's also a very difficult area to get a hang of. Hence why there are so many videos in this module. It's the biggest module, and it's sort of the focus of the course. So we're going to be doing a number of different things in that module, looking at, again, how to think about it, and then we're going to be making 5 different sounds, 2 plucks, 2 leads, and a supersaw and piano. And again, that quick little presentation at the end, just as a conclusion and a few tips. After module 4, we're going to take the knowledge that we used or learned in module 4 and apply it to layering bass. But before doing that, I'm going to talk about how layering bass is different to layering leads, and there is a few differences which must be noted. And then we're going to make 2 different sounds, a modern trance bass and an uplifting bass line. And finally, again, ending with that quick presentation with a few tips to go away with. So after all that's finished, I'm going to end with 2 videos. The first one is on accent layering. So this is quite a cool creative technique that most people don't think about. Some people do it without realizing it. We're going to look at that and how it can add interest and complexity to your productions. And following that, I'm going to do a quick video on workflow and how you can use MIDI, 2 approaches to using MIDI that will either speed up or slow down your workflow if you're not using them correctly. So I hope that sounds appealing, and I'll see you in the next video.